Today I effed up by taking free condoms from my college. I'm no longer a college student, but when I was attending college they had an event to bring awareness to STDs and AIDS. My professor at the time was offering extra credit if we went, so I decided to go. I mainly just walked around, looking at all the different setups. Then I reach a table that's giving out free condoms. If it's free, sign me up. And I took a handful and shoved them in my book bag. After that I just carried those condoms in my book bag for the remainder of my college year. Never took them out. I'm not sure why, lol. Laziness maybe, but that is where they remained. Fast forward 2 years later. I get home, I see my husband, and at that time BF, sitting at the table looking very distraught. I ask him what's wrong. He proceeds to empty his pockets and dumps the condoms I had gotten 2 years ago. With a stern look he asks, "Can you explain why these were in your book bag? We haven't used condoms since 2013. I can't help myself, I start cracking up, as I realize what's happening. At first he didn't seem amused that I was laughing, but eventually he did let out a chuckle. I go on to explain, and we both end up having a good laugh about it. I ask how he found them out of curiosity. He says I didn't find them, the cat did. I then died. TL, doctor, I took some free condoms from my college that my husband found 2 years later. I had some explaining to do since we haven't used condoms since 2013. Hard to resist free stuff. True. Once I ordered a free sample of diaper for old people in my early 20s. I never tested its absorption qualities, nor do I have funny stories with it though. I'll occasionally sign my coworkers up for product samples for my own simple amusement. Miralax and Astroglide. Check. Pro tip: use a single-use email service for the sign-up, or make free one somewhere. The employees at a deli I used to manage did that. They ordered the sample Astroglide and left it on the desk for the manager before me. Then the middle manager came by on rounds and took it, probably to throw it out, but then he and his wife did have 8 kids, so free is free. Happened to me with my wife. She never believed me. Blame the cat. I found the condoms. Kitty, I know you've been hitting up truck stops again. Center, top and resize 1200. I thought it was gonna be the South Park clip of Cartman and his cat. I thought it was gonna be that 70s show Red Foreman yelling at his wife. Lamau same. I can't be the only one that thought her BF at the time was sat with her soon-to-be husband. Right? I thought the condom story was just a segue into the love triangle. Today I effed up. Lamau, I also read it as 2 people at first and was so perplexed. Would have made more sense maybe if she said husband, who at the time was my BF. Lol, almost made it a bit funnier figuring it out though. Apparently she wasn't an English major. In college I was offered free condoms. I told them no because I wouldn't need them. And I was right. R/suicide bywords material? Nah, he's just good at pulling out. King Arthur returns. Of course the cat found them. The cat knew what it was doing. Made sure to play with them when the husband was around, only taking one out and leaving the rest in the backpack. Clever girl. I am right there with you. I joined a HS club just because they regularly went to conventions, like boat enthusiast or sport fishing type. I had a specific backpack that was larger than my normal that I took to these just for the free swag. Good times. I was the head of the sexual counseling center on my campus, and we were the ones who gave out those condoms of which you speak. Some of my funniest stories ever were working there. We were supposed to counsel, but really people just wanted the free stuff. Usually running in the office out of breath with their clothes on backward. Lol. That's hilarious. At least they were safe. Absolutely. And that was my main purpose. Along with demonstrating how to put on a condom using a wooden penis helpfully given to us by Lifestyles. In high school I took one and tried to make a balloon animal, only to discover in horror that they were lubed. Rookie mistake. Need the lube-free ones for balloon animals, else they don't stay when you twist them together. Though if you wash it off they work okay. Thanks for the advice for the lube-free balloons, pal. I gwy, but the fact you capitalized pal and added a comma are making me laugh. Poor guy. One time I started packing a gym bag to go work out after work, and my boyfriend then was at the sink brushing his teeth. He just stopped mid-brush and stared and practically whispered, "You're leaving me?" I was so confused it took me a full minute. Then I was like, "No, I'm going to the gym after work." Harmony restored. Aw, that's kind of heartbreaking. It was. His first wife left him suddenly and he was devastated. Literally, she caught a cold and started sleeping in the guest bedroom for 3 weeks so she wouldn't give him sick, and one day came home and said she wanted a divorce. Just like that. No arguments. Nothing. She just didn't want to be married to him. Definitely made me realize the extent of how traumatic that was for him. Sounds like she found someone else and didn't have the courage to tell him that. That really sucks. He said he wasn't proud of it and that's the first thing he thought, so he went through her recents on her phone and the only unknown number was to a real estate agent earlier in the day before she told him she wanted a divorce to put their house on the market. If she knew she was about to ask for a divorce, then she had a strong incentive to cover her tracks, delete phone history with the other person, etc. If he could prove infidelity, it would have improved his position in the divorce proceedings, which could have a big financial impact. But who knows, could have been something else entirely. The fact that she put their house on the market, without consulting him, before even telling him she wanted a divorce is crazy. That's a painful thing to go through, but it sounds like he's better off without her. I like to think so. I had another friend going through a divorce and my husband told him, "You think your life is over and I know you don't feel this way. But trust me, you'll get your life back and it may even be better than before, look at me." If in doubt, check the expiry date. D. Condoms last about 5 years, so they would probably expire sometime in 2024. Where are you getting the information that this happened in 2019? All we know is it happened sometime after 2015-ish. TBH, it's probably good to have them for emergencies. Sometimes my wife's birth control prescription will lapse, and she'll miss a couple days to a week before the doctor can call in a new prescription. So to be safe, we will use condoms for a month after. This has only happened once or twice before and we have almost been married 10 years, but still. Or if the lady is on antibiotics. B. C. Doesn't work if you are on antibiotics. I kind of panicked about this for a second because I forgot this was a thing, but then I remembered I got sterilized and just take the pill so I don't have a period. I wonder if strong antibiotics would induce a period. Guess I better buy a box of pads just in case. I'm not sure, I'm a guy and not a medical doctor. I don't think so though. I was mostly putting it out there as awareness so people mostly younger know this is a thing so they can be careful. Knowledge is power and all that. It's always good to bring awareness to that and I'm glad you did. I don't think antibiotics would interfere with the pills keeping periods away either, but I am also not a doctor. And for reference, I'm actually 21. Just child-free, so I guess another thing to add can be anyone can get sterilization at any age, as long as you can afford it and get a doctor who isn't a weirdo. Well, I actually figured you were younger because you still get a period but didn't want to make any assumptions since having kids later in life extends your childbearing years. This is hilarious, holy speep. This just reminded me of an incredibly stupid situation I was in that made me thankful for free condoms. I was on birth control when I was a teen and I was in what I thought was a committed relationship. Veiled. One day my boyfriend broke up with me out of the blue and I was heartbroken, but he wouldn't give me a reason why. A few weeks later I find out through his best friend calling me that just a heads up, is telling everyone you gave him chlamydia. I definitely did not have chlamydia, but if he did, that means I might have it. So I drove to my local family planning to get tested, and the lady handed me a bag of condoms. I don't mean like a garbage bag, or a Ziploc bag, but a full brown bag, think the kind someone would pack their lunch in, and sent me on my merry way. As it turns out, I did not have chlamydia, but now I had a metric speep ton of condoms. Turns out he cheated on me after the last time we had sex and got chlamydia. The cat part actually made me laugh. I was just doing that smile you do when you type lol till then. To be clear, college condoms were obtained 2 years ago, but condomless with husband 8 years ago. Because the expiration date would be no help at that point. The story didn't happen today. It happened when they were still only dating. As she said, he was her boyfriend at the time. She forgot the obligatory didn't actually happen today at the beginning. At least, that's what I took from this. I once ordered a free Marine Corps drawstring bag from some mail advertisement. Next thing I knew, I was enlisted in the Marine Corps for 5 years. So, no condoms in the bag. Nah, they raw dog it in the barracks. Semper Fi, brother. Nice, even made a TIFU post to cover up. Smart play. Yeah, sure, blame it on the cat. My exact thoughts. So when I was in college, I joined a fraternity. One day while I was still pledging, one of the seniors sent me down to the health center to grab condoms from the basket in the waiting room. I get there, the waiting room is full of girls. I stepped back into the hall, steeled my nerves, went in, emptied the entire basket into my backpack, smiling and winking at the first girl that made eye contact, and walked away. You know why most all those girls were there, right? STD and pregnancy tests. Excellent cover story, especially when backed up by this post. Was thinking the same thing. If this was a dude, you know he would have been crucified, Lamau. I thought this was going a different direction. I was thinking you went to the Greendale Community College's STD fair and caught knowledge. And that you ended up pregnant and had a bed deliver your baby in the background of a scene. Undefined. My mind immediately went to community as well. I have to go through metal detectors at work and I had a condom in my wallet I had forgotten all about. It set off the metal detector and I swore I didn't have anything metal, but the security scanned my wallet and the wand went off too. That's when he finds the condom and I, being new to the sexual scene, got very embarrassed and it was awkward with my co-workers around. Luckily though, this security guy was really relaxed about it and told me to throw it away, and then he gave me advice to not store them in my wallet. He explained that with the friction of it being in the wallet and the wallet being in my back pocket I could break or tear the condom. That was new to me and I was genuinely thankful that he dropped some knowledge on me. How dumb does your husband have to be to pick up on the condoms but not on the fact that your boyfriend is sitting there in the same room? Don't they usually have a date stamped on them? Are cats attracted to the smell or something? I'm genuinely curious. Don't know much about cats. Cats love plastic and rubber. There is a microscopic amount of animal fat in it, so it brings out the cat's natural hunting instinct. Not all cats have this impulse. For instance, my cat doesn't give a flying fleep about plastic or rubber. She's a bit lazy. But my friend's cat is a monster for plastic. She will hunt that speep down. Damn, that's awesome. Good to know if I ever get a cat, lol. Good cover story. Even went as far as making a Reddit post about it, trying to convince your BF/husband. Did he check the expiration dates? At least the expiration date should help you explain your story too. So sorry to hear about your death. Hope you're doing fine now. When I worked at the university, it was common to receive free samples for B-Rubble. Apparently one of the grad students years earlier had signed up for samples. They're probably still on the mailing list. That's not a cat you own, is a rat. Am I the only one who thought there were two people at the table? I was so confused. I thought your husband and another man who was your BF at the time were next to each other, lol. You didn't wash/clean the bag for 2 years. D. Sure you did. Yeah right. I bet you figured they'd come in useful at some point. Free condoms. I'll put those in my pouch next to the catnip. Similar thing happened to me, only my dad is the one who found them when I was home from college and then the dog peed on the floor near where I had left my backpack. He was cleaning out my backpack, trying to salvage what he could from what got wet, and he found condoms my RA had given everyone and I had stuck in an unused pocket and forgotten about months earlier. Awkward conversation ensued. I don't know if he bought my story or not, which was the actual truth. Even though I was actually having sex with my boyfriend at the time and pretending I wasn't for the sake of my parents' delicacy, lol.